Today I'm bringing you 5 tips you might or might not know about instruments of destruction. If you build tracks on the inside, you might feel that when it comes to turning, your controls are switched. Forwards and backwards will still be the same, but your left and right are inverted. However, if you go up to Show Advance and click on your tracks, you've got this reverse tank steering option now. If we go onto this reverse tank steering, go back in and we go to the right, it is now right, our left is now left, but our forwards and backwards are still exactly the same as they were. Pivots are kind of tricky in that if you have 3 pivots in a row and don't change any settings, it'll interact as you expect. However, if for example I change the first pivot down to a 27-degree max angle, everything interacts like it's only got a 27-degree max angle. Unfortunately, what we now have to do is go into the strength of the others and tweak the strength to find out exactly where we need to go in order for those others to be able to turn at the degrees that we've specified. So on our example, the first pivot is set to 27 degrees, the second 2 are set to 90, and what we're trying to do here is achieve a 90 degree here and a 90 degree here, and as you see on speed 3 we still don't have enough range of motion to do that. So unfortunately there's not a lot that we can do other than tweak the speed down of the first pivot. This is a little bit confusing and a little bit complicated just in order to use those 3 pivots, but it just shows that it is something that you will have to do and that you can actually move independent pivots, independent angles. It just takes out a little bit of tweaking, trying to understand and get used to how it all works. It doesn't actually matter where you place the overdrive as long as it's connected to the parts you want overdriven. This is what you might see as standard: overdrive part, overdrive part. Both these parts are set to strength of 3 that are overdriven, and obviously they're going to be working as you see with an overdrive there. However, you can build this without this overdrive because this single overdrive is still connected to these 2 pistons, so you see that they are both still overdriven. So you gain that extra tiny little bit of space, which might not be a lot, but in some big builds it might make the difference between part numbers and weight and cost. If you're having trouble with an arm on a piston, as you see the piston arm is slightly bent, suspension is your friend. You see this part in the middle needs to actually extend when you go up, so we can simply swap this part out with a piece of suspension and we can achieve the same thing but without having that bent piston. It now goes straight up because the suspension takes all of the hassle. A lot of parts can be expanded. Something that people don't realise might be a few parts that you don't expect to be able to be expanded. However, it's worth noting that when you have a part, it has a cost and a weight, but when you expand it, that cost and weight will also increase. It's worth playing around with different parts to see what different things you can actually expand and what different ways they'll expand into. Currently you can still cheat the game a little bit when you have things that have connections that don't line up. You can actually place them over the top of other objects. It's not ideal. However, when I build this in, this is one solid object and we've hidden a lot of stuff inside those cylinders. It's not advisable to do this by any means, but if for whatever reason you need to overlap parts, currently you won't be punished severely for it. As a result of this, you might be able to make some strange and interesting things, but be warned, I imagine this might be fixed if it is a possible fix. And also sometimes if the game realizes what you're trying to do and you're trying to overlap things, sometimes it will pop one away from the other if it's got the ability to do so. Not all overlaps work. Sometimes the game registers that there's 2 pieces there and it will just off-center things a little bit for you. So if I put this bend to connect to this arch and then extrude it, so it should then connect to level 6, when I build this in, the game says, nope, you can't have that. And it ditches it out for us. So what it basically did is it's pushed the first one out, the shorter one, but it's left the longer one in. Now if we rebuild that in, you'll see that that part is actually connected. So the game is just deciding what it feels should be there and what it shouldn't. Take it easy, thank you for watching, and bye for now. Bye everybody.